For the rest of this tutorial, we'll be working with data that's already in an Excel worksheet and use Power Query to transform and clean it to look the way that you want. We'll start off where we left off in the first step, and you'll notice that there are worksheets for product categories and for sales data. Our first step is to load the sales data into Power Query. Once you apply some data transformations, Power Query will create a new worksheet with those transformations, but the source data will remain the same. This means that you can experiment all you want and be reassured that your original data won't get compromised. With the cursor anywhere in the table, go to Data, Get and Transform Data, from Table Range. Excel will automatically launch the Power Query editor with your data displayed in a preview pane. We're not going to do any transformations in this step, but we will review the query editor and its different elements. First, we'll start with the Queries pane. Expand the arrow to the left of the preview pane, and the Queries pane will display any existing query tables in the workbook. You'll see the product sales table listed last, then the World Cup results table, and then the tables that we used earlier in the tutorial workbook. As you add new tables, they'll automatically be listed here. Next, we'll move on to Query Settings. This pane shows the transformation steps you take with each of your queries. Here you can preview any existing steps and change or delete them. You might also notice that Power Query has already added a few steps for you. Source, this defines the source for your data. Change Type. Here, Power Query has analyzed your data and made some preliminary decisions for you based on the data types it interpreted. You can always adjust these later. Next is the Home tab. This is where you'll start previewing your data and making transformations. When you're done, you can always use Close and Load to get your transformed data back to Excel. The Transform tab just gives you more in-depth transformational options than on the Home tab. You probably won't use this very much when you're getting started. Add Column. This gives you the ability to get data from your existing columns, like the day of the week from a date or creating your own custom calculations. Finally, there's the View tab. This gives you a few different view options, like launching the Advanced Query Editor. Again, this is one you probably won't use very much when you're getting started. Finally, we'll go back to the Home tab and press Close and Load to put the table back to Excel. Had we applied any transformations with this table, you'd see them reflected here. In this case, we didn't do anything, so the data looks the same as when we started. However, you might notice that Excel's created a new worksheet for you, so it's a good idea to go ahead and rename it. I'll call this one PQ Sales Data, so I can tell the difference between it and the source data. Any transformations you make from here on out will be reflected in this worksheet, and the sales data sheet will remain exactly the same. In the next video, we'll start transforming our data by giving it some new column headers.